On today's episode, we're talking about news around sports, QAQB, a Week 17 recap, the Packers, the Bucks, and finally, SCHILD'S SPICY SITUATIONs.
Welcome back to another episode of Talking Sports. I'm your host, Andrew, and this is my other co-host.
Miles Schild, how we doing, everybody?
We're doing great, everybody. That's the answer we are looking for today. So, like Miles said in the intro, we have a packed show for you guys today. And to get it started, in news around sports, we have the MLB offseason. Not a whole lot to talk about, to be honest, which is sad for me as a primary baseball fan. But we did have two moves. We first had the Chicago Cubs signing right-handed reliever Hunter Harvey to a one-year contract. Hunter Harvey is a very good reliever, throws absolute gas. He throws over 100 miles an hour consistently with this fastball. And then the Cincinnati Reds signed outfielder J.J. Bleday, formerly of the Oakland Athletics. Or sorry, not the Oakland Athletics, just the Athletics, because they're moving to Vegas.
Right.
And I do like this move for the Reds in short order because J.J. Bleday has a ton of power potential. Cincinnati, a hitter-friendly ballpark. I'm expecting a lot of home runs and a bounce-back year for J.J. Bleday. And in other news, the Los Angeles Angels announced that they're restructuring the final 2 years of Anthony Rendon's pitiful contract. If you don't remember any of that, Anthony Rendon, starting back in 2020, signed a 7-year, over $200 million contract, one of the biggest contracts the Angels have given out in their franchise's history. And ever since then, Anthony Rendon has basically refused just to play baseball, as a fact. He has not wanted to play baseball at all. And the Angels are restructuring his deal to basically give him all the rest of his money, I believe, in 2026. And he will essentially no longer be on the roster for the Angels going to next year. So good riddance, I say, to one of the most unlikable World Series winners I can remember in Anthony Rendon. So good riddance. Rest in peace, scumbag, whatever. I don't know what.
Wow, feisty.
Yeah, I do not like Anthony Rendon at all.
In other news in sports, it is LeBron James and Tiger Woods' birthday. So happy birthday
Happy birthday!
two sports legends. They are huge in this world. LeBron, arguably one of the greatest basketball players ever.
Definitely.
Tiger Woods, arguably one of the greatest golfers ever. 41 and 50 are their ages now. Respectfully. So, I mean, those guys have done a lot for the sports world.
Definitely. So happy birthday once again to Tiger Woods and LeBron James.
In a little bit more sadder news, our man Hunter Wooler did have foot surgery. It was successful, so that is the positive in this. Hunter has been on the show before. He's a good friend of ours.
Definitely.
And he had a great preseason, and he earned himself a contract and a spot on this roster. Sadly, at the end of preseason, ended up getting hurt. It took out his entire rookie season. He had to have foot surgery, and now we're just hoping for a nice, easy recovery for Hunter as he hopes to get back his sophomore season and kind of have a new rookie year next year. And we truly believe that he can become a starter on that Colts team.
Yeah, bright side is the Colts did not have a great end to their season, as we will talk about in a little bit. So Hunter, I think, will have a wide open opportunity to make the roster in some capacity next year.
Yeah. And some other news around the NFL. Diggs family drama is what we're going to call it. Bad day for the Diggs family as Stephon Diggs is accused of strangulation and a whole bunch of assault charges from December 2nd, I believe, is when the incident occurred. So that will be something we have to monitor because he is the best receiver on that Patriots team. And if the Patriots want to continue their run, they're going to need Stephon Diggs. And on the other side, his brother, Trevon Diggs, the cornerback for the Cowboys, has been cut today. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. And honestly, I think I know where he may be able to land.
I think we're both thinking the same thing.
And we'll talk about it later. All right.
And moving on into college football, the Bulls are well underway. Starting back on December 13th, we had SC State taking on Prairie View in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. SC State won in 4 overtimes. To win 40-38. A low-key underrated game. You had Army versus Navy, one of their traditions in college football. Navy walked away with the 17-60 victory. In the bucked-up LA Bowl between Washington and Boise State, Washington picked up the victory 38-10 over Boise State, who isn't ranked anymore, but came into the season ranked
Yeah.
after a really good year last year. December 16th, we had Troy versus Jackson State. It was a 17-13 victory for Jackson State in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. On December 17th, we had Old Dominion taking on South Florida. A great game out of that, I must say. Old Dominion walked away with a 24-10 victory, and Louisiana took on Delaware in the 68 Ventures Bowl, and Delaware got the victory 20-13. Thursday, December 18th, Missouri State taking on Arkansas State in the Xbox Bowl. I did not know that there was actually an Xbox Bowl, believe it or not.
I did not.
So Arkansas State picked up the victory 34-28. And on December 19th, we had the couple playoff games. We had Alabama versus Oklahoma. But besides that, we had Kennesaw State taking on Western Michigan in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Western Michigan picked up the victory 41-6, while Memphis and NC State in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Okay, that's a long name. Sorry. NC State got the victory 31-7. We had a couple playoff games on Saturday, December 20th. We already talked about those. The other bowl games were between Montana and Montana State, a really cool game. The FCS Championship, and Montana State picked up the victory 48-23. And then the other FCS Championship semifinal game was between Illinois State and Villanova. Interesting. I did not know Villanova was actually a good football school at this point. Illinois State got the victory 30-14 over Nova. On Monday, December 22nd, only a couple last week actually, almost a week from today. Washington State picked up the victory 34-21 over Utah State in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. On Tuesday, December 23rd, a full week from today, Toledo and Louisville met in the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl. Okay, I've never heard of that bowl. If I'm being honest, I've never heard of that bowl. Anyway, Louisville got the victory 27-22. Western Kentucky versus Southern Mississippi in the New Orleans Bowl. Western Kentucky got the win 27-16. And then the University of Las Vegas picked up the loss to Ohio in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Okay, 17-10, Ohio got the victory. And this is a game we want to highlight real quick. California versus Hawaii in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. And Hawaii got the victory 35-31 with a backup quarterback, according to Miles, because I did not know that actually. But anyway, what really got this game going, besides the really close score, is that one, Hawaii got the upset over Cal, and two, there was a humongous fight that broke up on the final seconds of that game after California failed to convert on fourth down, and massive actual fight. It was insane. Miles actually didn't get to see it. I watched a couple videos of it, and it was a massive fight. Like
It was.
you pretty much had both benches, if all you can call it.
It's real football, right? You don't score in a 2-point conversion, you don't win, right? It's an upset and it's a fight. What else could you want? It's exactly what we want to see in college football.
Definitely. Yeah, but that was the only game on Christmas Eve in Hawaii. That, I mean, judging based off time zones, that I think that was pretty early in the morning, actually, since it's Hawaii in a different time zone. Anyway, Friday, December 26th, we had Central Michigan taking on Northwestern. Northwestern got the victory 34-7 in the Game Above Sports Bowl. In the Rate Bowl, Minnesota beat New Mexico in overtime 20-17. And then FIU versus UTSA. I'm pretty sure UTSA actually had a pretty good football program this year. Anyway, in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, it was 57-20. Nothing needs to be said there. And on December 27th, Georgia Tech versus BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which was really cool field, by the way. They had some sprinkles in the end zone.
Yeah, that was an amazing game.
Yeah, 25-21, BYU got the victory. Virginia versus Missouri in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Virginia got the win 13-7. LSU versus Houston in the Kinder's Texas Bowl, 38-35. Houston got the win. North Texas versus San Diego State, 49-47. North Texas got the win in the Asleta and New Mexico Bowl. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this names, guys. East Carolina versus Pitt in the Gold Bowling Military Bowl. Weird that's not the Navy and Army game. I'm just wondering. Anyway, East Carolina got the win 23-17. Penn State versus Clemson. They got the victory. Penn State did over Clemson 22-10 in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. Then UConn took on Army in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. I believe that's the one that takes place at Fenway Park, judging based off the name. Anyway, Army got the win 41-16 over UConn, and then we had the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. This was cool because on the kickoff, I don't know if you saw this, but Snoop Dogg was doing an interview. They did the kickoff, and he was like, "Oh, this is me," and he ran out into the end zone and caught the pass or the kickoff, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Anyway, Fresno State got the win over Miami, Ohio, 18-13. We had a game yesterday between Georgia Southern and Appalachian State in the J Lab Birmingham Bowl. 29-10, Georgia Southern got the win. And we have some games today, actually, for some bowl games. We had Coastal Carolina taking on Louisiana Tech. Right now, Louisiana Tech is up 20-14 in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Right now, they're in the fourth quarter. Louisiana Tech has the ball. We have the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl between Tennessee and Illinois. That's going on at 4:30 Central Time, so in about 10 minutes. And then USC versus TCU. That's going to be at 8 o'clock tonight in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Ooh, that's going to be a good game. So that's going to be really cool to see. And I think tomorrow on New Year's Eve, there's a couple games actually. We have Iowa versus Vanderbilt in the ReliQuest Bowl, then Arizona versus Duke, Texas versus Michigan, Nebraska versus Utah, and then we have a college football playoff game between Miami and Ohio State on New Year's Eve for the Cotton Bowl. So that should be a very exciting day tomorrow for bowl games. But there you go. That's a quick little recap of all the bowl games that you've missed. Yeah, sorry that took so long, guys.
And staying with the football theme, we are going to the NFL where we are doing our Week 17 recap. All right, starting us off, Cowboys, Commanders, Cowboys get the dub 30-23 as Josh Johnson starts his first game in like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
He is a traveling man.
Traveling.
17 teams, I believe he's been on. Anyways, Lions, Vikings. This was a shocker. Lions lose to the Vikings 10-23 as Max Brosmer gets another start. Now, mind you, this is the guy who threw 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns in his debut. Undrafted rookie from Minnesota, Max Brosmer. And Jared Goff did not look great. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 18 or 29. And Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries, 41 yards.
Oof.
It was a brutal game for the Lions as they get eliminated from the playoffs, and that really opens the playoffs up for different teams.
Looking at this, Netflix didn't get some great games for their only games of the year. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix.
Yeah.
The Cowboys Commanders was supposed to be a good game, and then you get the Lions and Vikings. Like,
Yeah.
and Lions don't win. Man.
All right. Broncos, Chiefs. The Chiefs did not have a quarterback besides Chris Oladunke, possibly his name.
Oladukon.
Yeah. He played 20-13. This should have been a blowout from the Broncos, and this is why I believe that the Broncos aren't as good as the record says, which I will touch on in our later segment. Texans, Chargers. Texans get the win 20-16. Ravens, Packers. This one's a little bit touchy, 41-24. But let me just tell you how Malik Willis played. Malik Willis, on the passing side, was 18 of 21.
Ooh.
He had 3 incompletions, 288 yards,
Wow.
and a passing touchdown. Rushing, he was even more incredible. 9 carries, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Christian Watson also helped, 5 receptions, 113 yards, and a touchdown. But the only reason the Ravens won was Derrick Henry. 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns as he puts on the best rushing game we've seen all year.
Yeah, I mean, John Harbaugh, you see what happens when you give Derrick Henry the ball. This type of things happens.
Yeah.
Against a D-line, like the Packers have, that is utterly decimated. Yeah, Derrick Henry is going to absolutely run all over you.
Yeah, a fun fact with the Malik Willis thing. Malik Willis is the first Packers quarterback in 35 years to have over 285 passing yards and 60 rushing yards.
Wow.
It has not been done. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love never did that.
Wow.
So Malik Willis making a name for himself in Green Bay.
Ooh.
Moving on. Buccaneers, Dolphins. The Dolphins get the upset and a must-win for the Buccaneers, 17-20. In this game, I mean, Quinn Ewers, he played great. 14-22, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We may have a future quarterback somewhere in Quinn Ewers.
Definitely.
Moving on, Patriots, Jets. This game was predictable, 42-10, as the Jets continue to look abysmal.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's going to be Fernando Mendoza time in New York, but I mean, we'll get to the game that ultimately decided where Fernando Mendoza might go in just a second. But yeah, Jets not good.
Steelers Browns. Steelers lose to the Browns in an upset 6-13. One of the bigger storylines though, Myles Garrett did not get a sack in this game.
Oh no.
And he did come out and say he felt that the Steelers were more worried about stopping him and not allowing him to get his sack record over winning.
Wow.
Very interesting comment. Jaguars Colts. The Jags squeaked the win 23-17 as this is the Phillip Rivers last game as a Colt, I would assume.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Because they've already announced Riley Leonard will be the starter next game. You have to question, is it really over for Phillip Rivers now?
I would say it probably is. Like, let's. Yeah, it probably is. Like for a 44-year-old, it's probably over for him. But good run for Phil Rivers. Good run.
Saints Titans. These teams are both so bad that it was actually a good game. 34-26, the Saints get the win, and Tyler Shuck is really starting to look like the future.
Hey, what did I say last week? What did I say last week?
You
Tyler
did say that.
Tyler Shuck, he may be the guy in New Orleans. He may be it. I said it then. I'm gonna say it again. Tyler Shuck is the guy in New Orleans.
But here are these stat lines. These are two quarterbacks who are at the bottom of the league, and they're both rookies. Tyler Shuck, 333 yards,
What am I saying?
2 touchdowns, and only 5 incompletions. Cam Ward, he passed a lot more than Tyler Shuck, but he had 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that was a decent game for a 6-10 team and a 3-13 team.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Seahawks, Panthers. Seahawks get the win 27-10. So that, I mean, the what is it? The AFC South
or NFC South.
NFC South is all over the place. Buccaneers lose, Panthers lose, Falcons win. We'll get to that later.
And this sets up the game for Week 18 coming up later this weekend. You have the Panthers going to be fighting against the Buccaneers for the division. If the Buccaneers win, the division winner is going to be a losing record team again in the NFC South. And you also have the Ravens and Steelers. And the Ravens have to win that game to win the division. But we'll talk about that next week too.
Right. Cardinals, Bengals. Cardinals lose 14-37 against the Bengals as the Bengals actually look like their old selves. Giants, Raiders, 34-10. Giants get the win. And Jackson Dart didn't throw a touchdown, but he had 207 yards. And I really don't understand how this Giants team got the win. The Giants did have a 95-yard kick return touchdown.
Ooh.
And it was just, honestly, it's the battle for the number 1 overall pick.
They called this the Tank Bowl, and we can see why.
Right. Eagles, Bills, 13-12. Eagles win.
Wow.
Yikes. Bills, you got to figure it out because you're going in. Actually, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right. Bears, 49ers. This was a game to watch. First play of the game. Brock Purdy throws a pick six, first play of the game. I mean, and the 49ers still end up winning 42-38. The Bears still suck.
Back and forth throughout this entire game. It was a dogfight.
It was a very impressive game. And then the Rams and Falcons, man. Rams get upset by the Falcons 24-27. Matthew Stafford may have just lost the MVP in this game. Drake May threw 5 touchdowns. Drake May threw 5 touchdowns in his last game, and Stafford threw 3 interceptions this last game. It may have just been lost.
But I also wanted to talk about this. I mean, Puka Nacua made an incredible catch on that sideline to almost even give the Rams a chance.
Right.
Like almost a one-handed grab, going out of bounds, and he just bobbled it. And by rule, you have to rule that an incompletion. But we almost saw one of the best catches of the season with Puka Nacua. Let's not rule him out of the MVP conversation while we're at it.
Yeah, and we won't. We'll talk about that later.
All right, now that we got that all covered, it's time for QAQB.
And for today's QAQB segment, we're talking about the backups.
Ooh.
All right, so starting us off, we're going to do 2 young backups and 2 old backups. These are backups who we got questions about because we're questioning, do they really deserve to be backups, or can they be starters in this league?
And for the most part, as backups this year, they've played good.
They've
When
played
the
very
starters
good.
have gone out, they've played really good.
Yeah, and one of the backups who has backed up a big time starter is Malik Willis. He is on the young side of it. Malik Willis is 26 years old. Andrew, what are some of the stats for him this year?
So in basically one full game, and actually two full games because he came in to relieve Jordan Love in the Bears game, he has 422 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, which is very, very crucial, and a 145 rating so far this year in 2 games, which is very impressive. And we just mentioned the stat line from the Ravens game, passing wise, and 2 rushing touchdowns. We didn't even mention the rushing touchdowns.
Right.
Uh,
He in the past 2 games he's had over 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
yeah, so Malik Willis has done very, very good to say the least.
Yeah, and him being only 26, he's on his second team, so he's not like a wily veteran. He hasn't been on a ton of teams. Granted, he's had a lot of coaches in the Titans organization,
Yeah,
but I think Malik Willis can be a starter. All right, moving on to the next young quarterback, Mac Jones, 27 years old. Give us some stats here, Andrew.
so with the 49ers this year, I believe he's played around 10 games so far this year, maybe a couple more than that. He has 2,151 yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, yeah, 3 interceptions and a 97 rating so far this year. So very solid for Mac Jones in relief of Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Mac Jones, we all know it. He was supposed to be the next Tom Brady for that Patriots team. They drafted him high, and it just didn't work out. He got traded to the Jags. He was with the Jaguars for 1 year as a backup. Then he went to 49ers, kind of on a Sam Darnold trajectory here,
Yeah,
going to Kyle Shanahan to try to revive his career. And so far, it's looking like he has done that. Mac Jones has played very good football. He's 27 years old. So the question is he still able to be a starter in this league?
I think he can be. I mean, I know a team like the Vikings are probably going to go take a chance on him now that Daniel Jones isn't in the picture anymore due to his injury. So I could either see Mac Jones or Malik Willis, a younger guy. I could definitely see one of those guys being getting calls from teams like the Vikings, maybe another team that maybe doesn't want to go draft a quarterback or they can't draft a quarterback but are going to need a young guy, like the Steelers, maybe. I could see teams like that going and trying to invest in either Mac Jones or Malik Willis.
Yeah, I would agree. On the older side of things, Kirk Cousins, he's 37 years old, back up for the Falcons. What can you tell us?
So, in a couple games so far this year with the Falcons, he's got 1,541 yards, 9 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. So, very solid stat line for Kirk. And we just saw him lead the Falcons to a victory over the LA Rams on Monday Night Football last night. So, Kirk Cousins, even though at 37 years old, lost his starting job to Michael Penix Jr., he's still balling a little bit.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins, at this point in the league, has always been the talk of trades, right? He signed a big contract with the Falcons. They drafted Michael Penix right away. So he's always been the topic of trades. Do you see him getting traded or cut and getting a chance to start in this league?
I don't actually see that. I think that the Falcons are going to look to maybe hold on to him because, again, the stat line's not great. It's not elite, but that's not what Kirk Cousins is. And being that Michael Penix Jr. went down with a very serious injury late in the year, I don't know what that timetable is going to look like for Michael Penix Jr. heading into next season. Maybe beyond next season, maybe Kirk Cousins will get starting some call, or the Falcons will get calls about Kirk Cousins. But I think he will stay in Atlanta for at least next season, or at least the first 5 or 6 weeks of next year.
Yeah, staying with the oldies in QAQB, Jacoby Brissett, 33 years old. He started the year as a backup for the Cardinals and is considered a backup, but he kind of evolved into a starter for this Cardinals team. Talk about him.
So yeah, essentially he took over that starting role from Kyler Murray after he went down with the injury, and the Cardinals said, "Yeah, we'll just sit Kyler Murray out the rest of the year." So Jacoby Brissett in the majority of the year for the Cardinals has 3,123 yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions at age 33. Again, very solid stat line, and that's not with a lot of help from the ground game. Like Jacoby Brissett basically was told, "Hey, you're gonna have to do this yourself, man. Don't have a very good run game right now. A lot of injuries to that running back room. You do have good receivers with Marv. You do have Trey McBride, and he's made good use of them. I know Trey McBride, especially against the Packers, was a demon.
Yeah,
He was very, very good. So Jacoby Brissett, Very solid this year. I don't know if he's going to be anything more than a backup. I hate to say it. I think he's going to just kind of keep doing his thing as bouncing around from team to team until he retires, just being a backup. Like, I realistically see that being Jacoby Brissett's career path. If the Cardinals don't decide to go get a quarterback in the draft or in free agency, which looks like it might be the case, maybe Jacoby Brissett does go back to the Cardinals and maybe he helps them tank or he drives them to be as competitive as they can be, which may not be much better than what they did this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And he found a new weapon in that offense. Michael Wilson, the wide
Yes,
receiver.
Michael Wilson.
He's been crazy lately. I picked him up on my fantasy team. He's been one of my best receivers.
I was gonna look to go pick him up, and then I saw you take him. I was like, oh man. Again, I'm not competing for much in our fantasy league, so it really doesn't matter at this point. So
Well, I mean, not to brag, but I'm in the championship. But anyways, yes, I'm not sure. I would agree. Oldies in this realm of backups are going to be hard to go and replace a younger guy. It's going to be tough. Malik Willis, Mac Jones. You said they both have a chance to be starters in this league.
oh yeah,
They're going to go to two different teams, right? If they don't return to the teams they're at now.
yeah.
What teams do you think are going to be calling for Malik Willis, and what teams are going to be calling for Jones? Because they're very different play style.
So I think for Mac Jones, I'm gonna start with him. I already mentioned. I think the Vikings are gonna be a team that go looking for him. If not, I think the Steelers might be another team to go pick him up because they do have DK Metcalf, a pretty good wide receiver. Besides that, I'm not really thinking. I'm not really seeing any other teams. Like for starting opportunities, it's probably going to be the Vikings and the Steelers, in my opinion. Colts could be another one. Jets, maybe. I really don't see the Jets going out and getting him. I really more realistically see Vikings and Steelers possibly to go get Mac Jones. Now, from Malik Willis, again, Vikings. They're a team that I don't think are in the quite best position to go draft a quarterback. Jets, I think, are another one because we've seen them bring in Justin Fields, a mobile quarterback. Except I think Malik Willis has a better throwing tool than Justin Fields. I also think the Colts are going to be heavily, heavily looking at Malik Willis. I mean, he was in their division for a short amount of time, so they know what Malik Willis is. They probably are more familiar with Malik Willis than any other team that I just mentioned. So I see Colts being a prime target for Malik Willis, or at least a team that's going to be going after him.
Yeah, I would completely agree. Malik Willis, I think Colts, you talked about them being in the same division. They know what they get. And with all the injuries that Daniel Jones got in those few games, that's not going to be good. We're not sure if Anthony Richardson's the guy.
No,
And
I
Riley Leonard's not.
and just the injuries for AR. Like I love Anthony Richardson. I want him to get there because I liked everything I saw in those first couple games back in 2023. It's just the injuries have kept him out of there. The accuracy has really gone down, except on deep balls, which is weird. So I think it may be done for AR, even though I'm a believer in him. It's just probably time to go get someone else in Indianapolis, and it's definitely not Daniel Jones after that injury.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Malik Willis and Daniel Jones have a similar play style, right? They have a good, accurate arm, but they also have legs that they can use.
I think Malik Willis does have a more better throwing tool overall than Daniel Jones.
I think he also has better leg. Like, he's got a better run game.
Yeah, I think he's more of a sturdy quarterback. Daniel Jones, I feel like, is more kind of skinny and lanky in a way.
Yeah.
Malik Willis feels more built, and he can throw farther. He can throw with more accuracy.
Yeah.
And he can also pick up more speed on the ground, too. So that's why Colts are probably going to go look at Malik Willis very, very heavily.
And I would say Mac Jones. I would have to go Steelers.
Okay.
Mac Jones has a good game that I think would semi-replicate Aaron Rodgers. I think that offense wouldn't have to change much if they brought in Mac Jones. And I think the Steelers, Will Howard, I don't think he's the guy.
No, definitely not.
And they're not in a spot right now. They gave up picks to get DK. They're just not in a spot to trade up to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think there are quarterbacks who they could get. Because I don't think Mac Jones or Malik Willis will come in and be named the starter right away. They're going to have to earn it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think they can. But
there's gonna be Jacoby Brissett, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston-esque players that are brought in on those teams.
Completely agree.
Don't rule out the Vikings though, because we already saw them bring in Sam Darnold, who was on the 49ers at a point in time. We saw them bring 49ers backup in. That's what Mac Jones is right now. I think I would expect the Vikings are going to be looking at bringing in Mac Jones like heavily because I really hope that Malik Willis is not the quarterback, or at least in the contention for it
Yeah.
next year with the
Yeah.
Vikings as a Packers fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Mac Jones to the Vikings is the one I'm watching though for sure.
Right. And then there were two wild cards who I didn't throw in there. One young, one old. The one young one, Quinn Ewers. He's played pretty good football. He's a seventh round pick. Not sure what's gonna happen there. I think he's in the realm of Shador Sanders and Dylan Gabriel.
For
They
sure.
could be replaced. They've gotten their resume out there.
Yeah,
They could be trade targeted. Do you think any of those three quarterbacks I named could be starters next year?
I think they do. I think they can. For Quinn Ewers especially on the Dolphins, where Tua, I feel like we talked about this last week. I don't think Tua is the answer. Tua's time in Miami is probably over as a starter. Quinn Ewers is definitely going to have a shot at QB next year. Like after what we saw in his first NFL start and I think his first two. He's played 2 games, right?
Yeah.
So first two NFL starts have been very solid from Quinn Ewers. I think after seeing those, he's gonna get a fair shot to win. Like you're again
Yeah.
bring in Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson type players, kind of similar to what Jackson Dart has had to deal with this year.
Yeah.
But he's gonna get a fair shot, and I think
Yeah.
that out of anyone they bring in, I think Quinn Ewers has the best shot to get it.
Yeah.
Younger, has demonstrated the ability to throw more accurately,
hmm
and he probably has better footwork than any other quarterback, at least veteran wise, that they bring in.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned the oldie who I was going to talk about, Jameis Winston. He is only 31 years old.
Yeah, again, he's young, former number one overall pick too.
Right. And I love the 30 for 30 season he had. You got to love it.
Yeah, yeah,
And Jameis's career was ruined by New Orleans, right? That it was ruined.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
yeah.
And he played good with the Browns and now with the Giants. I wasn't happy that they also signed Russell Wilson because I wanted Jameis to get more of a start. But do you see Jameis? His contract, I believe, is going to be up.
Yeah.
He signed a 1 or 2 year deal. Do you think Jameis could become a starter at some point again in this league?
I think he can. I think for sure he can. Again, the raw talent from the arm perspective is one of the best in the league. Easily one of the best in the league. Accuracy it has room to be desired. It has a lot to be desired, but he hasn't thrown an insane amount of picks this year with the
Yeah.
Giants.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had the greatest receivers.
Right.
Like he's made good receivers with Wan'Dale Robinson, guys like that. So I think Jameis Winston can definitely be a guy. He's definitely going to be a guy that goes compete with a Quinn Ewers, Will Howard, maybe a Mac Jones next year.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Mac Jones has a better chance of beating out a Jameis Winston than a Jameis beating out Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Or a Mason Rudolph type of player.
Yeah.
That's realistically what I see. I think
Yeah.
Jameis Winston can definitely win a starting job back in the NFL, for sure.
And you heard it here on QAQB.
Now we got to move on real quick to another segment. We haven't talked about the Bucks in a little while, have we, Miles? It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
And with Giannis just returning from his injury and all the rumors swirling around him about him, it's time to revisit that conversation. We were
Yeah.
talking about trading Giannis earlier than the year, like around the time we actually did that Hunter Wooler interview.
Yeah.
That it was probably the best time to trade Giannis, and it has never been more abundantly clear that that was the time to trade Giannis.
Yeah.
Well, right now it is.
Yeah.
Because as you were telling me before we got on here today, the window for Giannis's trade is closing very rapidly. Like the
Mhm.
Knicks were interested in him, they were making calls, and now the Knicks are starting to win again, and they really don't need Giannis.
Yeah.
The Thunder are absolutely running away with this, and the Spurs, they're also winning. They're second in the Western Conference. Nobody needs Giannis right now. Like,
Yeah.
everyone would want Giannis,
Right.
but nobody needs him right now, except maybe teams like the Hawks or the Heat, which we've talked about. And Miles has drawn up some mock trades real quick. And again, the time to trade Giannis is now when his value is starting to decrease, and it's overall the best time right now. His
Yeah.
contract is a little
Yeah.
weird. He has a player option for 2027 and 2028 that season, so he's got one more year left on his guaranteed contract, and he's got a player option, and then becomes a free agent at 34 years old. So Giannis has
Yeah.
prime opportunity to also go get
Yeah.
another bag somewhere else. And you were telling me something very interesting about what a trade could look like for Giannis
Yeah.
and what his value is. So what do you have?
Well, to me, Giannis's trade will be a rental deal. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking a Kawhi Leonard, try to win, get it out of him deal.
Okay.
And as much as I would love to see him if he would get traded, I would love to see a huge return for him. And we may get that. but I think there's a better chance of us getting more picks than young rising stars, right? I would love to
Yeah.
see us trade him to the Sixers to get VJ Edgecombe. Financially, it's just not going to happen, right? I would be interested to see what the Lakers could offer us with Austin Reeves, with Dalton Knecht, like some of the guys they have there. What could they offer us? And those trades just aren't as reasonable. Now there is a team, the Atlanta Hawks. I believe the Atlanta Hawks could make a deal. They could ship out the guys they don't want, and Zachary
Richache,
Richache
French man.
wasn't gonna get that one right. And Trey Young, they don't want him anymore. And to me, I see a trade that would send Giannis to the Atlanta Hawks. This is a 3-team deal. Giannis goes to the Hawks. Zachary goes to the Bucks along with a ton of the Hawks first round picks, pretty much everything they got in the tank.
Okay.
And then the third team, I haven't figured out what team that would be financially that would be able to take on Trey Young. Trey Young would go to the third team, and some of the picks that they'd send back to the Hawks would actually go to the Bucks. So the Bucks get the former number 1 overall pick and a ton of picks. I'm talking like 8 first-round picks.
Ooh, wow.
And this is a team I haven't found that third team because Trey Young, as you said before we were recording, Trey Young is like a John Morant.
Yeah.
Teams just don't want him. As talented as he is, there's not a huge market for Trey Young. But he's a 27-year-old point guard. He's an all-star point guard. He's not an elite superstar, but he's a star.
Yeah.
And somebody out there needs a point guard.
Yeah, and the thing that differs between Trey Young and John Morant, which at this current point in time, Trey Young is a better point guard than John Morant. John Morant is not gelling in that Grizzlies offensive system. He loves the pick and roll. He's not getting enough out of that. He is down offensively with production. His defense, it's mid. Trey Young is a smaller guard than John Morant, doesn't have the athleticism and the penetration ability that John Morant does, but has better three-point ability. That's the thing that really separates Trey Young from John Morant right now and makes Trey Young a more valuable point guard. And a team would love to get him. Again, he's not fitting in that Hawks system right now. The Hawks were winning without Trey Young, and now they've kind of lost a couple games with Trey Young coming back. And they have a bunch of other stars like Jalen Johnson, who I really, really like. He's a Wisconsin kid.
Yeah.
I really love Jalen Johnson. I love Dyson Daniels as well. Really good defense.
Kristaps Porzingis is also there.
Tingus Pingus. So the Hawks have good pieces over there.
Yeah.
And Zachary Richache, number 1 overall pick in a very weak class overall, came over from France, hasn't been developing very well. The Hawks are not satisfied with it. And to Zachary's credit, though, has all the talent he has there. He's a bigger kid, for sure. Maybe not.
Yeah.
He's not like Giannis. He's not built like Giannis.
Right.
No one can be built like Giannis on Antetokounmpo right now. But Zachary also has more tools that Giannis doesn't have, like shooting tools as well. He has similar penetration and driving skills that Giannis has. He's younger than Giannis.
Right.
And is a very raw prospect that the Hawks have not been able to develop. The Bucks, meanwhile, they develop guys like Ryan Rollins, like AJ Green. They've developed guys like that. And that's why this trade looks really good for the Bucks, getting Zachary Richache, who could be a quote-unquote Giannis replacement. And they're getting a bunch of picks that they've shipped away with Damon, Drew Holiday trades. Now they're getting picks back for that.
Right, which is why I think that this trade would work. You look at Giannis when he first came in here, he had a Zachary build.
He did.
Right? He was skinny. So that makes me confident if we bring in this guy that we can form him to the superstar mold that we would need. Also, I think me and Andrew were on a disagreement here. If Giannis would get traded, would Miles Turner get traded? I said yes because he has a long contract, $100-something million, and he's older. To me, there are going to be teams who want a center because Miles Turner's still one of the top centers in the league, even though he's having a bad season. There'd just be no point to keep him. And trading Miles Turner would get us more picks, and I think we could get a young center somewhat to compete with Bobby Portis and Jericho Sims, because Jericho Sims is huge. I like Jericho Sims a lot. He just doesn't have the offensive ability.
Has a ton of athleticism in his game. Like dude can jump. Like he was in the dunk contest a couple years ago. Like some of his dunks were insane. Like for me to watch as a fan, it was insane.
His rebounding ability is elite. right? He just can't score.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis, love Bobby. He's a staple in Milwaukee, but he's not the guy.
He's a sixth man.
He's a six man.
Which is fine. We
right. So I think Giannis goes. We also make separate trades with Kyle Kuzma and Miles Turner. Honestly, I could see Kyle Kuzma be put into this trade. I could see him go to that third team, maybe so we can get a little bit more out of that trade on Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, get those extra picks that you mentioned from that third team. Like,
yeah,
I could see that, like, Kuzma being that piece that really gets those picks.
Yeah.
Or Turner being those picks.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we could get a little bit more. Yeah, Turner, you got a guy who can lob it up, slam it down. Like, there are trades that we can make right now because guess what? Giannis is back. We're 1-1 with Giannis back, and he's been good. He has been good, right? That windmill dunk he did with the Bulls that started outrage. Loved it as a Milwaukee fan. Love to see Giannis back.
He's playing angry. He's playing angry with the Bucks right now.
Yeah. So you got to actually they may be 2-0 with him back.
They beat the Hornets last night.
Right. So they're 2-0 actually with Giannis back here. So they can win, but to me, you're not going to be able to bring Giannis back.
No. Well, no, probably not.
No. As much as he loves Milwaukee, the end of this year, and if you would keep him another year, he has that player option. We're not winning a championship with the team we got.
Yeah. And the thing that also I was telling some people when I was talking about them about the Bucks, what really makes this trade like almost feel a little bit better in a way is that if Giannis does get traded away, it won't be his decision because he could have requested a trade like yesterday. He could have requested a trade like back in June, and that would have made him the villain. He hasn't done that yet, which makes this really cool. Which, as a Bucks fan, makes it better. So it's not his decision to leave.
Right.
He's made it clear what he wants. He wants to win. He doesn't really care about the money.
Right.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
He just wants to go win, and it's going to be the Bucks' decision, which the Bucks have been placed in an uncomfortable position, which I wouldn't want to be in.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Either way, we're going to love Giannis through this whole thing. The whole Milwaukee organization will forever love Giannis for what he's been able to do for us. Andrew has his NBA champions hat on.
Yeah, from 2021. That was a great year.
That was a great year.
That was a great year. That was first year out of the bubble, too. And
yeah.
Oh, that was...
It was amazing.
June championship, like, that was weird, too. It was in June.
Yeah.
Like, that was weird, but that was still really cool, though.
Yeah, it was amazing. All right, moving on. Our closer, our big headliner. Let's go.
Now it's time for SCHILD'S Spicy Situation.
Welcome to SCHILD'S Spicy Situation, the identity crisis. Wow.
Oh, boy. When me and Miles were drawing this up, like, quick little backstory here. When we were drawing this up, like, for our script here, we were, like, so excited about this segment here today, too. So,
this is going to be great.
Get ready. Buckle up, everybody.
All right. SCHILD'S Spicy Situation, the identity crisis is what today's segment is. This is our closer. Here we go. Here's my hot take, my spicy situation. The NFL is in an identity crisis. It does not have a clear winner in anything it has. Starting off, MVP, right? I'm going to list a few names for MVP, Andrew, all right? Matthew Stafford, Drake May, Myles Garrett, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua. Talk to me, Andrew. Talk to me.
Okay, so with all those names, like, starting off with Matthew Stafford and Drake May, both quarterbacks have been playing extremely great. Drake May has had the benefit of having a pretty easy schedule so far this year. But it's been a really good turnaround for Drake May this year after his rookie year. For Matthew Stafford, he got the addition of Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua has been healthy for the most part this year. He's only missed like 2 games, I'm pretty sure, this year. So he's had really, really good wide receivers and a really good running back. And the Rams are probably the most complete team in the NFL with Matthew Stafford leading the way at, 39 years old?
Yeah.
Like, after all the injuries he had this year and with his bag, like, coming into the season, it's been a really, like, cool story for Matthew Stafford. Now, with Puka Nacua, again, just talked about it, he's having one of the best wide receiver years of his career, not just of his career, in NFL history. Like, I'm looking at this as kind of like a Cooper Kupp kind of year.
Yeah.
Again, Matthew Stafford connection. Like, you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
It's been insane for Puka Nacua. I already talked about the insane catch he had in Atlanta, like, almost catch in Atlanta. He's been really, really good. Myles Garrett, Miles was talking about his sack record that the Steelers were trying to avoid having Myles Garrett get on Sunday. Myles Garrett has been the lone bright spot on it. Well, not the lone bright spot. The biggest star on the Cleveland Browns team that has been abysmal this year. So that's like a valid reason why Myles Garrett, like, this is kind of like Micah Parsons MVP conversations from a couple years ago, because Micah Parsons was so good a couple years ago with the Cowboys, which is so cool to say he's on the Packers right now.
Yeah.
And then you also have Christian McCaffrey. He's been healthy this year. He has been the workhorse of this entire 49ers offense. When Brock Purdy was out, Mac Jones was in. McCaffrey, not only on the ground, all-purpose yards, he has been the best out of everybody in the league. One of the best in NFL history. One of the best seasons for all-purpose yards in NFL history.
Yeah.
It's been a really good year. Like, he's getting comparisons to guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, guys like that. Christian McCaffrey's having an amazing year. Like, this is the Saquon Barkley year of last year. Like,
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey is doing what Saquon Barkley did last year.
Yeah.
And like, we were talking about Jonathan Taylor early in the year being in MVP conversations because how many times did he score 3 touchdowns in one game?
Yeah.
McCaffrey's done all that over the course of the full season.
Right.
Jonathan Taylor's kind of cooled off as we got into the season more.
Yeah.
But Christian McCaffrey's been really good all year long. He's been healthy, which comes at the expense of the 49ers losing pretty much everybody except Christian McCaffrey this year. But yeah, those are your MVP candidates. Like, you're looking at all those guys, like, who are you going to pick?
There's no clear winner.
Okay, and then looking at the Super Bowl, like...
Hold on.
Wait, what?
We're going head coach next.
Aww.
Super Bowl will be our final topic.
Aww.
Head coach. All right. Head coaches, we got a ton. Mike Vrabel, head coach of the New England Patriots. Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ben Johnson, head coach of the Chicago Bears. Kyle Shanahan. Mike Shanahan was his dad. Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos. And Mike McDonald, head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. These guys have really been good. To me, Mike Vrabel turned around an awful team in the Patriots in 1 year. Liam Cohen, man, he has let these Jaguars play the way we had expected them under Doug Peterson. Travis Etienne has played his best season of his career.
Trevor Lawrence has had a rebound year.
It's been amazing to see. Ben Johnson, hate to say it, Ben Johnson completely turned around the Chicago Bears. They went from worst in the division, in one of the hardest divisions, they were awful. And now they're the best in one of the hardest divisions.
Yeah, and I mean, like, last year the Bears weren't great. They were not great. They were far from it with Matt Eberflus as head coach. But now you bring in Ben Johnson. He just unlocked something out of Caleb Williams, out of DeAndre Swift, which is, that's so bad to say. Kyle Monunga has been crazy good this year for the Bears. Another 7th-round running back out of Rutgers that has done good. I point to Isaiah Pacheco of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Something about these 7th-round running backs. The Packers should look to invest in that because for some reason they can't get a good running back anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, besides Josh Jacobs. We love Josh Jacobs.
Emmanuel's been pretty good.
Emmanuel Wilson, Chris Brook has been good. Anyway, so Ben Johnson has unlocked something on the offensive side of things with the Bears that has been really good. And then Dennis Allen coming in, which has been one of the most underrated coordinator hirings of the offseason. Like, that hasn't gotten talked about enough, in my opinion. I'm surprised I even remember that, to be honest, when we're just talking about this right here. So, Ben Johnson has done a lot. He brought in good coordinators. And then, besides that, the Bears have been playing good football. Really good football overall. And then Mike McDonald leading Sam Darnold, even though he's a defensive-minded head coach. That defense for the Seahawks, already really good. Now you're bringing in Mike McDonald. It's been really, really good for the Seahawks. Looking at some other guys, who do you grab down?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, there's not a lot to say because Sean Payton does have that pedigree of being a really good head coach, but he's unlocked something in Bo Nix, to be sure, this season at least. You have something to say about the Broncos, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Again, Kyle Shanahan, he's done this before. He gets good teams out of the 49ers any way he can. He's an offensive guru. He's just overall a head coaching guru who comes from, like, again, him and McVay, who should be in the conversation too, being one of the better head coaches of the year. Like, those guys have done it before. And then besides that, I was also talking about DeMeco Ryans. He turned that Texans team around. So, like, all these guys, there's so many options for Coach of the Year this year. It's unbelievable.
Right, which brings me to the next thing, the Super Bowl. There is not a clear winner of the Super Bowl. And that's saying something in our head coaches of the year. Because obviously, if you have that many head coaches, that means you have so many good teams, right? there are so many teams that we just don't know. Because guess what? The Rams just lost to the Falcons. The
Yeah.
Falcons are arguably not that good, right? We've seen the Broncos lose. We've seen the Patriots lose. Like we've seen guys lose to bad teams, but then be able to beat good teams.
And the Patriots have had one of the weakest schedules of the year. Like that's a thing that keeps coming up when we're talking about the Patriots.
Right.
They've had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL so far this year, which, not to knock Drake May and Mike Vrabel, but that's just a fact. They've had one of the easiest schedules of the year, so that's something that you got to keep in mind of. Have they played legitimate teams? Well, they played the Bills, and they beat up on the Bills. So that's something to say.
Which is making us think here. The Bills don't have their usual enemies. They don't have the Lions. They don't have the Chiefs. They don't have the Bengals. They don't have the Ravens. Like, those are probably the 4 biggest Super Bowl contenders we had there, along with the Eagles. And to me, the Eagles aren't real contenders.
Yeah.
I don't see the Eagles being as good as their record is.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot here.
Yeah.
We don't think the Eagles are truly it. And again, the Broncos, like, Miles doesn't think they're the best team in the AFC right now. I don't either. Like, I feel like there are other teams that are better than them. Well, at least in the NFC. In the AFC, the Broncos might be the best. The Patriots can contend with them. But overall in the league, the Rams might, the Rams might be good, but again, they just lost to the Falcons.
Right. So you just don't know. And to me, the Chargers may be better than the Broncos. I'm going to say it right there. I think Justin Herbert could be better than Bo Nix. I think Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton going head on head. I think the Chargers could win in a playoff scenario. But I also I want to talk about the Packers now. Because the Packers, coming into this, we had such high hopes. I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl before Micah Parsons, right? They bring in Micah Parsons, and now we're saying they're really going to win. Micah Parsons tears his ACL. Tucker Kraft tears his ACL. Elton Jenkins, done for the season. He's our center for those of you who don't know. Josh Jacobs' knee just has not been the same. Jordan Love's out with a concussion. We're a little bit worried, and his technique just kills me, right? He's good, and he's accurate, but he throws off his back foot, and that's a huge problem for me. We don't have a consistent pass catcher besides Christian Watson coming back now has been huge.
Romeo Doubs, too, I would say, has been one of the more consistent guys in the Packers, too.
Right, but he hasn't been amazing.
He hasn't been that guy.
Matthew Golden has not been used enough. We drafted him first round, and he's gotten like 10 catches this year.
Well, I think that's also due in part there are limited plays drawn up for Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
I like that's the one thing that really holds the Packers back, at least for this year, is, well, 2 things. The injuries, are for sure going to keep the Packers out of the Super Bowl. And Matt LaFleur. Offensively this year, it's taken a step back. I think it's Matt LaFleur. The play calling, oh my God. The amount of runs out of the shotgun on 4th down drives me crazy. It drives me insane. Every time I see one, I want to throw my head into a wall like Cam Scadaboo. That's how much I hate Matt LaFleur's play calling sometimes. He's gotten better. He's gotten better. Also, he wastes time now all the time.
It's been ugly.
Yeah.
Even our wins are ugly.
Yes, the wins are ugly. Well, most of the time. When we score 27 points, sometimes they're good.
Yeah.
27. Man, the 27. Oh, my God. So you can clearly see this season's been weird, and that's why we call it the identity crisis, because we don't know who's actually going to be good. We don't know who is the Super Bowl favorite right now.
Well, that's the thing. You look back at it, I'm gonna list off a few things. Do you believe that the Rams will win the Super Bowl?
Shoot, I don't know, man. I don't know. They, out of any team, I feel like they gotta be the one, right?
Well, I'll make it easy for you.
Because Matthew Stafford has been in the Super Bowl before. He's won a Super Bowl. Yeah. He's been in the playoffs before. He's been in these situations before. He's made it deep into the playoffs before. It's out of everybody, I feel like he's got to be the guy. Then you got the Eagles. They went there with Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl last year, but we already know the Eagles' offense is not as good as it used to be. Their defense is killer.
Yeah.
But it's not as killer as the Rams, in my opinion, at least.
I will make this easy for you. NFC Championship. We'll both list off the teams. Who do you think's in the NFC Championship?
Oh, Rams for sure.
Okay.
And then, that's tough. Not the South winner for sure. Not the Bears, because I don't think they're gonna get there. Not the Packers either. Oh, in the East, I'm not sure. I don't think the Eagles are gonna get there. I think it might be the Seahawks. I think it's gonna be Rams and Seahawks.
Whoa.
Like, those are the best team. Like, maybe the 49ers too, but they've had a lot of injuries. So,
Yeah.
and we just saw them give up, how many, like 35 points to the Bears?
Yeah.
Like, maybe their offense can pick it up.
38, yeah.
But you're going to have to go through two powerhouses of defenses with the Seahawks and Rams. So, like, I think it's got to be Seahawks and Rams. Two best defenses in the NFC and two of the best offenses in the NFC.
Well, this is where I kind of contradict you here. Because we saw Sam Darnold last year in the playoffs was awful.
That's true.
And is he going to do that again? Jackson Smith-Njigba has been amazing.
Yeah.
But is that going to carry over, right? You have so much inexperience in the playoffs. The Bears never been there in recent years, right? You have the Eagles, they're just not it this year. So I think, bold prediction here, Rams, Packers.
And you're not doing that because you're Packers homeboy.
No Packers bias. Wink, wink. But anyways, yeah.
So if you want to lean on the experience part of this, then it's got to be the Rams and the Eagles or the Packers at this point.
Or the Niners.
Or the Niners. Like, I guess the Niners would be the one to do it. So like out of those four teams, I would have to be feeling good about the Rams and the Seahawks.
The Rams, yeah.
Rams for sure. Like, the Rams might be the best team in the NFL right now.
Well, all right, moving to the AFC side. What's the AFC Championship?
Oh, man. Not the North winner. Definitely not. Whoever that's going to be. South winner, I don't see the Jags getting there. Again, the inexperience is there. Don't see the Texans doing it. I definitely think it's the Patriots. Then you got the Bills and Patriots. You see what's going through my mind, guys, or at least hear it. It's a lot of thinking. Like, you have no idea who's good. Like, there's flaws on teams that you have to consider. It's got to be either between the Patriots or Bills and Broncos and Chargers. I think it's two of those four teams. Again, we're narrowing it down to playoff experience.
Right.
Patriots haven't been there in a couple years. Mike Vrabel's been there, but Drake May hasn't. Josh, I feel like I'm going to leave. Okay. Josh Allen and the Bills, I think, get there. The playoff experience will help them. They've gotten to the NFC Championship before, so that's what I'm thinking at least. And then beyond that, that's tough. Beyond that. Okay. You have Sean Payton on the Broncos. Has a lot of experience in the playoffs. Drew Brees. I think it's got to be the Broncos. And Bills.
Broncos, Bills?
Yeah.
So, are you saying it could be Bills, Rams, Super Bowl?
I think it could be.
That's a fair prediction. That is a very fair prediction, but it could be completely wrong, right? One of those teams could be eliminated right away.
And again, same thing with every other thing. Head coach of the year or MVP.
Yeah. To me, it's the MVP is going to be making the Super Bowl. I'm going to say it right now. Whoever wins MVP will be in the Super Bowl. If it's May, he's going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
If it's Stafford, he's going to the Super Bowl.
Well, I guess we'll find out who's going to the Super Bowl before the award goes out,
That is true. But that makes me think, like, it's going to be it could be both. It could be both.
Like, the MVP conversation can play into the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, like, how far a player goes. Like,
the playoffs don't count in the MVP.
Okay. So,
but
disregard that.
In our minds here, if Drake May and Matthew Stafford go in the Super Bowl, it's crazy.
Like,
right? Well, that's about all we have today. We just saw an ESPN alert. We just got it. Dan Orvalowski says the Packers need to be interested in Trevon Diggs. That goes sidetracked to what we were talking. Just got that alert, though.
Yeah.
But let's end it. And that was SCHILD'S Spicy Situation, the identity crisis.
Well, that's all we got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed. We had a lot of fun making this episode, recording it too.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode as well. And with that, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Miles.
We'll see you in the next episode, everybody.
See you guys.